howl. That is the unique sound of the Vulcan and those 4 Olympus engines. All sorts of theories as to why that howl happens. I don't think anybody really knows, but it does, and it is the trademark of the Vulcan. Big Olympus Rolls-Royce engines, 16,400 pounds of static thrust in each of them. So, flying the Vulcan for us today, in the left-hand seat, Captain is Kev Rumans. In the right-hand seat, Bill Ramsey, and the third man in the crew, the Air Electronics Officer, sitting in the back, Barry Macefield. So we see her coming back towards us today. Bear in mind, this is a 60-year-old aeroplane. Well, the design, the model of aeroplane is 60 years old. And with her contemporaries, the Valiant and the Victor, designed to carry the British nuclear deterrent. Of course, the Navy took over that role later on. You can see she's as maneuverable as a fighter. When she first flew in the 50s, she was displaying at Farnborough, and the test pilots used to do a complete roll in her. We're not allowed to do that these days, but as you can see, she can still turn a pretty maneuver. Bomb doors open. You see that enormous bomb bay underneath. That is the bomb bay that carries 21 of 1,000-pound bombs all the way to history. Flown by the captain was then Flight Lieutenant Martin Withers, who was awarded a DFC for that, and they dropped 21 1,000-pound bombs on the runway at Port Stanley with the help of 11 tankers to get them there. It was an extraordinary occasion because Vulcan had stopped being a nuclear bomber by then. She was at the end of her service operational time, and she was then a low-level tactical bomber. Bomb doors closing as she comes by for the second time. This aeroplane was actually the first B2 version of the Vulcan into RAF service and Bomber Command in 1960. She's actually, this particular aeroplane is a mere 52 years old, just a stripling. She served on. And then on 101 Squadron and 44 and 50, all of which were at Waddington. She carries the colours, the Lincoln coat of arms on her fin, because Lincoln is the sort of capital city of Bomber Alley of the Royal Air Force, and the Panther's Head of No. 1 Group on the nose, representing all of the Vulcan squadrons in the 1970s. Also, a newer addition, she has the Spirit of Great Britain painted on her nose, encapsulating all that she stands for, the great British never say die bulldog spirit. Because when she was the last RAF Vulcan, and when she left service in 1993, nobody thought we'd ever see a Vulcan flying again. And it was only because of an amazing effort ever since by what has become the Vulcan to the Sky Trust that she has been enabled to be with us now. It's cost more than £10 million, and it's still costing £2 million a year to keep her going. And we've had help from the Heritage Lottery Fund. We've had help from a lot of the British aerospace industry, also the Civil Aviation Authority, Marshall, the Engineering Authority. But most of the money has come from you, from the great British people. You've given your money in amounts between £1 and tens of thousands of pounds. Kev Rumens has put the wheels down, and I think he'll come by in front of us again with the wheels down, and then he'll come into land. So, as I was saying, it's costing £2 million a year to run this extraordinary aeroplane. She is unique. There will never be another aircraft flying like her. And it's amazing to think that there's a piece of paper still in existence dating from 1946 when the great Roy Chadwick, who'd designed the Lancaster and seen it fly only 5 years before, sketched out the first Vulcan. And what's even more extraordinary is if you elongate his picture of the first Vulcan, you see that it becomes recognizably Concorde. So she is a direct antecedent of Concorde, and of course Concorde had Olympus engines too, although rather more developed than these. So, if you want to see this aircraft again, please do keep supporting her. Join the Vulcan to the Sky Club. vulcantothesky.org is the website. But please also go down to the Vulcan Village. It's off to the right-hand end in the Cold War display area. You'll see it there, not very far from where the aeroplane is parked. So please do go down there. All sorts of good things to do down there, and you can buy all sorts of merchandise. You can try the Vulcan simulator, which is always good fun. From the British aerospace industry, and I omitted to name some of our very helpful people, some of our sponsors yesterday, so I got into trouble for that. Amongst them, Sir Jack Hayward, a great rambunctious generosity of Eddie Forrester of Aerobytes, but companies, AD Holdings, BAE Systems, EADS, Goodrich, Judd Power, Kearsley Airways, Meggitt, Messier Doughty, Rolls-Royce, and Serco. And we really do appreciate that. The one thing that hasn't happened is that she hasn't got a name sponsor, a title sponsor, and that is what we've been hoping she would have all along, but she never managed to get it despite absolutely gargantuan efforts all over the world to get a title sponsor for her. So that's why we are still dependent on your money to keep this aeroplane going. Incidentally, if you go down to the Vulcan Village at the right-hand end, you will see very near to where the aeroplane is. Do that right now. Here she is coming into land on this 10,000-foot runway. I don't believe she will use her braking chute. And I think we'll see Kev Rumens holding the nose up as she goes by, so that great slab of a wing slows the aeroplane down. You see the air brake sticking out top and bottom of the wing there. He's actually getting the nose a little higher. And finally, he lets it drop. The two nose wheels come down. All 18 wheels back down on the runway here at Fairford at the Royal International Airport. And I can't tell you how happy I am to see that happen today, because it's been a long few weeks while she was having her engines changed. So I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.
Sean, thank you. By the way, our Korean friends are here for the Blackie Northern Parallel Taxiway to return to its dispersal down in the Cold War zone. Yes, we are on Twitter at RIAT Commentary. One or two mentions here to read out for you. One here from Callum Thomas. Please say hello to Phil, Julie, Will and Callan from Wales, who come every year. Well, now we can hand over to Lieutenant Troy Kyle from the Korean Air Force to talk you through the Black Eagle display. Welcome to Fairford.
Good morning, we are back. The Republic of Korea Air Force aerobatics team, the Black Eagle, the first overseas visit in the entire history of us. We welcome all of you again visiting the Royal International Air Tattoo, and it is such an honor to have our display performing right in front of you. Now the Black Eagles are getting ready for takeoff.